talk now. This MMA, what we talking about? Yeah, you tuned into the pod now. Gonna be hard for you to stop now. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in.
Welcome back to another episode of Caged In. I'm your host, Chris DiCarlo. Got a very special guest making his return to the show. It's Adam Fugitt. How you doing today, my man?
Doing good, man. It's sunny out. I got out in the sun for a little bit and just enjoying that.
There you go, man. Love to hear that. I know you do have a big fight coming up at UFC 289. You're going to be traveling over to Canada pretty soon, so I'm glad you're able to, carve out a few minutes to come on and chop it up with me a bit.
Definitely, man. Thanks for having me on again. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. Anytime. You do have a big fight coming up, UFC 289 versus Mike Malott. Last time I talked to you was before your fight with Kinoshita. So I'd like to, go into that one a little bit, recap that a little bit, and then we'll get into UFC 289. So you went in there, got your first UFC W, man. Congratulations on that. First round TKO, 436 into round one, full mount, landed some big elbows before the referee stopped it. Recapping a little bit, man. I know in the beginning of the round, you did kind of eat a little head kick there. That looked like it landed pretty clean. Now you've been able to sit on that a little bit, go back and look at it. Can you talk about that exchange a little bit and if you were hurt or rocked at all in that moment?
Yeah, man. I made a mistake and doing one too many level changes there, and he threw a kick, timing that level change. It actually didn't land as bad as it seemed, if at all. I came out of there, face feeling fine, no kind of soreness. I think that the timing had maybe just been a tad off, and I was, already at the bottom of my level change and kind of moving back up, and I was able to absorb it on the forearm pretty good.
Nice.
So, and plus, Kinoshita, he throws kind of that more karate style kick. You see it kind of go at a upward trajectory more than up and in like a Muay Thai fighter would do. So that definitely helped my cause too.
For sure. Looking back at that fight, did everything go according to plan, as far as you and the team are concerned? And was anything in there surprising to you at all, in the matchup versus Kinoshita?
I keep saying this, and when I'm asked this question, it's crazy how everything just everything fell into place. Everything we were kind of visualizing and game planning for and strategizing for in camp, and it just all kind of fell into place. We knew he was very quick. I mean, quick to the point that I still got touched a couple of times, with his hands. So that really, it's crazy how quick he is, and just how dynamic of a striker he is. We also knew he was going to be a bully and he was going to try to be up in my face right away. So it was important to, set the tone real early that, hey, we're gonna work in my space, and eventually I'm gonna grab the pace of this fight, and then, we're gonna get to work. And I didn't anticipate it happening all in the first round, but I'll take what I can get, and everything else from there. We had questions on his ground game. He didn't have a lot of tape on him going to the ground off his back whatsoever, and so we wanted to make him work a little bit off the fence, touch that body. When we have him up there with some knees, look to land some elbows inside too, and eventually we were hopeful that we were gonna find it to the find a fight in the ground, and it's just see kind of what his game was like there.
For sure, man. I mean, you were able to, execute the game plan and, get it to the ground, like you had said. It ended up being a beautiful finish performance there, and you can never complain about a first round finish. So, that being your first UFC win and finishing in that kind of fashion, first a guy who did come in with quite a bit of hype. So how did it feel to be the one to kind of silence that hype for a little bit and, kind of steal some of that shine for yourself?
I mean, it always feels good. If you go back, probably, and if you include this fight, every one of those fights, I'm the underdog.
Right.
Every one of those fights is a potential. They're a top UFC prospect, even going back to Solomon. So underdog kind of looked, overlooked, and it's just great to go in there and true fans of the sport will recognize that I'm legitimate. I'm there to fight, and I have a good skill set, and it's nice to really just come out of there stealing that hype, stealing some fans, and getting that look.
Exactly, man. Congratulations again on that. Your fight did kind of start at like a crazy time for the viewers anyway. You know, the East Coast, the main card started at 1 a.m. Over on the West Coast at the Apex where you were fighting was a 10 p.m. card. Did that affect you at all? Was that something that you guys had to prepare for going into that fight, knowing that you were going to be the first fight on the main card, kicking it off at 10 p.m.? Or is that just not a non-factor for you guys at all?
It ended up being a non-factor. You know, we were a little worried when we thought we were going to South Korea, having to deal with that, but it was definitely it didn't affect us. We train multiple times during the week, close to like 8, 9 o'clock at night. So it's really no big deal. I was alive, and basically that's when I come to life, I guess you could say.
For sure, for sure. And like we mentioned earlier, that was your first win inside the UFC octagon. So overall, man, how did it feel looking back on that night, getting your hand raised? How did it feel for you that night?
I mean, it is a dream come true to finally get my hand raised in the UFC, somewhere that I've wanted to be for a long time, something that I knew that I could had the ability in myself to accomplish. And just the verification and that belief afterwards just makes me hungry for more and want to keep pushing. Basically what I have left in the sport and get as high as I can on that ladder that is the rankings.
Definitely, man. Definitely. All right, let's get into the next one. UFC 289. You're taking on Mike Malott, who is 9-1-1 as a professional. This fight is going down over in Vancouver, Canada. But we know that you're no stranger to going, across the country to, enemy territory. You did it twice over in Hawaii versus two Hawaiian fighters that you fought over there at X1 back in 2019. Doing it again now, going over to Canada, where Mike Malott calls home. Do those experiences, do those kind of gear you up and get you ready for the moments like this?
For sure, man. I'm so used to it now. My job is as a fighter is to go in there and put on a performance, no matter where it's at. And I actually have two fights up in Vancouver, BC. So, I'm pretty familiar with the Muay Thai community up there. So, don't
Nice.
be surprised if I got some fans in the crowd. And Mike might be from Canada, but I'm from the Pacific Northwest. This is as much my backyard as it is his. So.
Oh yeah, man, that is true. You are close to Canada up there in the Pacific Northwest, so it does make sense that there might be some kind of fan base leaking over there. So it is interesting, and I'll be keeping my ear out for the crowd too. Maybe we'll hear some Adam Fugitt fans in there as well. How do you feel about this matchup overall with Mike Malott, man? How do you feel about the matchup, and where do you see yourself kind of having the edge here?
I mean, it's just like the last four fights. I'm fighting another top prospect. They're bringing in, I don't know, they bring in the underdog there. I feel a little bit, I don't know, underestimated, overlooked, and it's my job to go in there and once again show that you don't overlook me. And as far as how the fight's going to play out, it's not too much different from basically Kinoshita or Morales. I wish I would have had a little bit more time to prepare for Morales, but
Mm.
it's again getting control of your space, working at your pace, and wherever the fight goes, I feel more than confident. I've been doing this game for a long time, so I have acquired a lot of skills over the years. So I'm pretty well I'm pretty well confident.
For sure, man, for sure. And you have mentioned it that you are the underdog again coming into this fight. When you accept these matchups and you see, maybe the betting odds come through and see that you are, once again the underdog, is that something that you carry as like a chip on your shoulder to each one of these bouts?
I mean, always, man. Like this is your prototypical Adam Fugit fight. I'm
Yeah.
always coming in, basically underestimated, and it just so happens that now Vegas betting odds are coming into play, and I love it, and I love taking money out of the house's pocket. We'll just go with that.
For sure, man. Coming to spoil the party once again, as you do, man. Love to hear that. All nine of Mallett's fights or all nine of his victories have come by finish. Eight of your victories have come by finish as well. Is it safe to say that, the fans are in for some fireworks at UFC 289 between you guys? Because neither of you typically like to go to the cards.
I think so, and I think that's why the UFC bumped us to a main card. They look at those finish rates and they say, this is going to be an exciting one for the fans, and potentially a memorable one for the fans, and maybe even a fight of the year candidate. And those are the kind of fights that I want to be a part of. And I'm excited to get in there and give it all we got.
For sure, man. Does this fight kind of check off some kind of, item off the bucket list, being on a pay-per-view main card, headlined by, arguably the greatest female MMA fighter we've ever seen, Amanda Nunes. Does this kind of feel good for you to like be elevated to that spot beyond that pay-per-view card and, people are going to be paying to tune in to see what you guys are going to do on Saturday night?
Oh heck yeah, man! I mean, we're the third fight from the main event, so most people are going to be rolling into their seats. It's going to be a packed event. Um, it's huge. I've always wanted to be on the main card of this promotion, and even more so, I want to find myself into that main event slot.
Mm.
So yeah, definitely a huge dream of mine to go in there and accomplish.
Of course, man. It has been, roughly 4 months since we've seen you last time, since you fought early February. Um, how has your game, improved or changed at all in the 4 months since the last time we've seen you?
I just think I've honed in on a couple things that I wanted to get better at, and you know, trying to just continue to sharpen the tools that I had. 4 months isn't going to give you the time to learn something new. So it's all about just really, tightening up the holes in your game and, honing in on those spots that you feel like were maybe, I don't know, a little bit of a disappointment for you in prior fights. So that's what I've been doing.
For sure, man, for sure. And when the cage door locks at the Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia, man, what can the fans in the arena, what can the fans, tuned on pay-per-view expect from Adam Fugitt, UFC 289, man?
Oh man, same thing they can always expect, that often overlooked, often given the underdog title guy going in there and fighting for his life, fighting his heart out. And that's what I guess that's what my brand can be. I'm just gonna keep going forward and looking for that finish every step of the way.
For sure, man. Everybody loves the underdog, so I'm sure there will be no short of people rooting for you on Saturday night, myself included. So best of luck going into that one as well, my man. The main event on this one, Amanda Nunes, Irene Aldana, we talked about it earlier. Any thoughts or any predictions on what's going to happen in that main event?
I haven't given it a lot of thought, but I'm gonna go with the champ. Amanda Nunes is, like you said, she's probably the best female of our generation thus far. And so yeah, I'm gonna give a lot of props to her. I think she's gonna go in there and get the job done. And I hear she's got another baby on the way, so
Mhm.
that's that's more power to her, right? More motivation.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Not that she needs any more, man. But it does add something else to her gas tank. So it'll be definitely be. It's always a pleasure every time we see Amanda fight. So I'm super excited for the whole card and especially the main event as well. All right, man.
For
Before I
sure.
get you out of here, I always like to end on some of these random fun questions, but this time I got a little bit of this or that for you. I'm just gonna name off two things. You're gonna tell me which one you prefer out of it. Finish this up, get you out of here, man. Does that sound
All
good to
right,
you?
man. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, first one, man. Were you a Nickelodeon or Disney guy growing up?
Oh man, if I could say both, I would, but
Yeah.
let's go with Nickelodeon.
All right. What about Marvel or Disney? Or Marvel or DC, excuse me,
Oh, Marvel for sure.
for sure. Are you more of a city guy or a country guy?
I'm a little bit more of the country guy, a little bit more of the suburbs. Big cities they can get a little bit chaotic, give me a little anxiety.
Definitely, man. I'm with you there. Do you prefer big parties or small gatherings?
Small.
Yeah, keep it small, man. I'm down for that. Would you rather read books or play video games?
ah, you know, I've been listening to a lot more books lately.
Hmm.
Listening to the audio books. Just hasn't been many video games out there since Red Dead Redemption 2 that have really caught my
Yeah,
attention.
true. True. I can get down with that as well. Are you more East Coast or West Coast?
I mean, I've been in West Coast my whole entire life. I might have to make a move here. I don't know, and go and
Yeah,
check it out because don't knock it till you try it, right?
for sure, for sure. Would you rather see the future or change the past?
Oh man, depends. Do I if I go I get to choose to change the past, so I get to go relive it?
Sure. You can do whatever you want.
All right, we're gonna go with the past.
Okay. And do you prefer music or podcasts?
Music.
And last one, do you prefer cardio or weightlifting when you're in the gym?
That one also, I think, has started to flip flop. I'm, really enjoying just the way my body is changing through finally kind of finding a guru or a mentor in the weight training department. Shout out to Tyler Tanaka at Convergence PT.
Nice, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to go with weightlifting. I've always had the cardio, but I've never had really the body that says, "Hey, I'm a fighter," maybe. And so I feel like that's finally coming into a form.
There you go, man. I love to hear it. All right, Adam, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for taking the time once again. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Best of luck at UFC 289 on Saturday night. We'll be rooting for you. Anything you want to say before I get you out of here? Any parting words?
Yeah, before the part words, I got a question for you. You got the Celtics banner back there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that sucks you guys lost, man. I
yeah.
really feel for you. But all this stuff out here in Eugene is saying that my guy Dame Lillard is going to get some help from Jalen Brown. Is he worth the trade?
I would say yes, because I think for Jalen Brown, he can't come into a situation and be the number one guy. So the fact that you already have Dame over there, Jalen Brown would be a perfect number two for him. I think Boston fans are a little disgruntled right now after what kind of went down in game 7 with
For
Tatum
sure.
getting hurt, Brown kind of fumbling the bag a little bit, 8 turnovers, wasn't the best performance. So people are over here are calling for them to split up the duo and kind of see what they can get for Jalen Brown before it gets too expensive.
Okay.
So if he does go over to Portland, I think that would be a good team up for him and Damon. That'd be fun to watch for sure.
For sure. What about you? Where are you out on that fence? Because everybody asks me if I feel like we need to trade Damian Lillard, and
Mm.
I am not on that bandwagon whatsoever. I don't want to lose that guy for anything. I want to see him finish out his career in Portland.
Yeah, the thing that I love about Dame the most too is he is such like a loyal guy. And he could have easily forced his way out of that situation over there in Portland. He's been on a couple bad teams and he maybe missed out on some prime years, winning a championship. But the fact that he's still able to stick around in Portland and try and get guys to come and play with him over in Portland, I think is awesome. And that's why I've been such a big fan of him throughout his career. But as
Sure.
far as like as a Boston Celtics fan and, going to the championship last year and losing, and then going to the Eastern Conference Finals and coming so close again to making it back. It's hard for me to say like if I would rather see Jalen Brown go, because if he's gonna go, then we have to do something to fill that void. So it's like I need some
Right.
kind of like give me what else are we bringing in before I say okay we can get rid of him. You know what I mean? But for now, I'd rather ride with what we got. But unless another offer comes along that is more enticing, then I'm
For
okay
sure.
with it. As long as we
But
don't
what
lose
else?
Tatum.
For
Then
sure. What I'll say is this: if the trade does go down and you guys get Anthony Simons, that dude is he's for real. He's just I think people forget his age, and I think they forget that he came on basically straight out of high school.
Mhm.
So he's gonna be I think he's gonna be an all star at one point. He's a walking bucket. So if you guys get that man, like you show him the support, and I think that he'll help Tatum and the Boston Celtics get over that hump for sure.
For sure, man. We do love to win out here in Boston. So anybody that comes out here and can make some buckets and get some W's, man, they'll automatically have a fan for life in the Boston sports community for sure. So that'll be no problem.
Heck yeah. Well, actually, my guy Tyler Tanaka is moving back to Boston in another year here. That's where he's originally from.
Oh,
I
hell
guess
yeah.
that's where he settled down after college. So he'll
Nice,
be
man.
back out there running physical therapy and helping out. He likes working with athletes, so maybe he'll be working with some of those athletes out there.
For sure, man. That's pretty cool. You might have to come out back out and make the trip, come visit
Yeah,
Boston and come and see what's good out here on the East Coast.
100%. I'd like to go catch a baseball game at Fenway, and
Yep.
I have never been to the Garden, but it's right around the corner, so maybe go check that out.
Always, man. I always say Fenway is the greatest place on earth. It's my favorite place to go in the entire world, man. Just there's something like mythical about that place every time you walk through the doors. It's insane.
Right. I gotta experience that being a young baseball fan,
Hmm.
playing baseball all up through high school and stuff. I was in the Johnny Damon, David
Hmm.
Ortiz era when they finally started got over that hump and won those championships. Remember watching Pedro Martinez up there on the
Yeah.
mound for you guys,
Yes,
and
sir.
uh,
Yeah, man, all those memories, man. You bringing them all back, man. It's, probably one of the brightest sports, or probably the brightest sports moment that I've been able to witness in my entire life. So, glad that I was able to see that for sure. And being a fan of the hometown team like that, it definitely hits different. Especially
For
when
sure.
you're a young kid. I think 2001, so I was probably like 10, 11. I was still young. It was crazy, man. It was no 2004, right? Yeah, 2004. So I was like, yeah, 12, 13. It was
That's
crazy, man.
awesome.
It was a wild time for sure. And then, ever since then we got kind of spoiled with
For
with
sure.
with championships ever since then. So they kind of broke the curse for everybody at that point.
Right. Hey, it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
But
All right.
yeah, I'll let you get off here. Shout out to my team, Art of War MMA, Jason Georgianov, my head coach, Cobb Tongsai is my Muay Thai coach. I already shouted out Tyler Tanaka a couple times. Pound for Pound Nutrition is my guy helping me get on my weight cut. And shout out to the girlfriend for Sophie Lang for putting up with all my BS in camp.
Of course, man. I'd love to hear it, man. Adam, thanks again, man. Best of luck, UFC 289 taking on Mike Malott. Headlined by Amanda Nunes versus Irene Aldana. We'll be watching for you, man. Like I said, best of luck and go get that W, brother.
Oh yeah, thank you so much.
Got down for the count and he can't even talk now. This MMA, what we talking about? Yeah, you tuned into the pod now. Gonna be hard for you to stop now. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in.